and welcome to the second episode of the Give My Head podcast. Episode 2, yes, we're done one episode already of a brand new podcast called Give My Head Podcast, where we're discussing all things comedy and culture in Northern Ireland. I'm Tim McGarry. My colleagues are
Michael McDowell,
Damon Quinn.
And we decided to enter the 21st century finally and do... Did you mind fidgeting? Stop fidgeting.
Sorry.
I'm trying to speak to the people here. Diona Doherty not only was late, but is fidgeting already. Before we start, can I just say a couple of things? If you want to subscribe, Patreon. We haven't got a Patreon account yet, but we have an email account. If you want to ask us any questions or you want to suggest guests to come on the show, we're talking everything culture and comedy. Just a couple of things to plug before we go. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to sponsor us, thanks very much for the Joxer, by the way, for a lovely cup of coffee.
Also, you can't unsuggest guests, so you can't undo the one that is already here. You can't unsuggest me.
No, how would I unsuggest you?
People will try.
Is that
You are a veteran.
Your reputation goes before you, doesn't it? Give Me a Headpiece. We are on tour next year. We're in the Grand Opera House at the end of March. Tickets on sale. Give Me a Headpiece TV show is coming out. There's a Christmas special on the 16th of December. The tickets will be available on the BBC at some stage. Look out for The Long and the Short of It, which is coming up again. The history show I do. And the Blame Game is back. And I, Tim McGarry, are doing a one-man show called Tim McGarry is Ridiculous, starting on the 20th of September in Antrim and all around the north, the 6 counties, the province, Ulster and all of that. We are absolutely delighted, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, we were talking about culture and comedy. When you go to comedy in Northern Ireland, with your second guest, Diona, we had Shane Todd on first.
Oh, God.
The very funny Shane Todd.
He was very good.
Does he know how to do a podcast?
Well, I say I wanted to call this podcast Tea with Tim, but apparently somebody had already
Somebody
stolen
has
it.
taken
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
know, yeah. He invented tea, apparently. That's what he
Yeah.
tried to tell you.
Well, no, we got him on because we hadn't done a podcast before, and we saw how do you do this? But you have your podcast.
Yeah, you've
coming
talked
out of
before,
your-
haven't you?
I've been on a podcast before.
By
We've
the
never
way, podcast has been the punchline to many of your jokes over the past few years, guys, all three of you.
What?
So I'm sitting here, how the tables have turned.
I know. Indeed.
The
You
punchline
have
to our
come
jokes.
crawling into the 21st century with your microphones.
Actually, I have a confession to make.
Right.
Let's get this out of the way. Do you remember the first time that you ever did an audition for us?
Yes.
Aye.
I
Do you remember that?
I do, yeah. It was
Yes.
for the radio show number 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, after you left the room, right? I wanted to cast you, and they wouldn't let me.
Oh, whoa.
I,
thanks.
I just want to have that out
Thanks,
here now,
Damon.
because
I don't know whether to be happy that you decided that or raging that you didn't fight harder. Like, why didn't you fight harder?
that was 2 against 1.
Hold on a wee
Wait a minute.
second.
We have a 2 against 1 route.
Why did you not want to cast me?
Hang on a second. This is
Here,
this
because
is,
spoiler alert, they did not cast me.
we did not cast you in
No.
number 2s,
No.
which, as you know, went on to be hugely unsuccessful.
Well, I got a second series.
Well, no, the radio show was actually
Okay.
very successful. The TV show wasn't as successful. Why did we not cast?
Well, the reason I wanted to cast you was because I said this girl has comedy bones.
Yeah,
That's what I said. She's got comedy bones.
you did say
And
that.
wasn't I right?
You were right. You still are.
And
Yeah.
Thanks, Damon. You've really put us on the spot.
You know what happened? I remember at the time not getting the job and being like, they'll soon see. I'll show them. But then the next year it came back a second series in the radio show and you just came crawling back, Damon, because you just gave me a part then.
We give you a part. No, before that, did we not? We did realise that you had something a little bit special.
Thanks very much.
Not special enough, obviously. Can
do
we
we-
remember the
yeah.
name of the actress? No. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's terrible. No, I take that back. Oh, that's awful. I didn't
do.
mean that. That's
I do.
nasty.
I
That's
do.
nasty. We'll let it down.
Oh,
Sorry,
God.
that's nasty.
No,
but
it's
we
not.
did.
She's very talented.
You're
She's a
down a
lovely.
rabbit
No,
hole
she,
here.
no,
You're
sorry,
down a
she's
rabbit
very-
hole.
no, but we did cast you very, and we said we put you in Perforated Ulster first. Did we not?
Did you
in
put me? No, number 2s was the first thing.
Did we?
That's right.
Aye,
That's right.
yeah, no, Perfect Ulster was after number 2s. So so number 2s was the first thing, but it took you. It was like I had that sort of talent that dawns on you a year later.
Right.
Do you know, like in the room during the audition, you're like, nah, and then a year later, you're all, maybe she wasn't that shy.
Look, it wasn't nothing to do with you. It's just your Derry accent.
The part was, where was it? South Armagh.
That was
Yeah,
it. That was
yeah.
it. Yes.
And then
That's
when I
right.
came in and murdered the South Armagh accent, and did it very Derry. Then the following year, the
Yes.
character was from Derry.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
That's the way I write all my stuff too. I write things and I'm, oh my god, this character's also from Derry. That's
You
mad.
do
I
you
should
do
play her.
audition for Bridgerton? Do you do Derry accents? Or?
No, I've never auditioned for Bridgerton.
Right. But you did play a foreign sort of East European type on Derry Girls,
Derry
didn't
girl,
you?
yeah. And people fell for it.
Aye.
Hook, line, and sinker.
And did you research that? Did you go to Kyiv? Did you go to...
No, but they made me work with someone. They made me. They gave me like a somebody to help with the accent.
Voice coach.
Voice coach. They gave
You're
me.
the actor, not me.
I know, fairly. You're the actor, not me. They gave me a voice coach to work. Do you know why? Because we did the read through, and afterwards I could see people going, "She sounds very Russian," and I was like, "Is that not the same thing?" And then they were like, "No."
Yeah, very much the same thing, Ukraine and Russia. In fact, there hasn't even been a dispute about it. They're all in
one big happy family.
And after the war broke out, did you get lots of Ukrainian refugees going, call that a Ukrainian accent?
Yeah. That was the
Where did you
biggest
think of-
tragedy there. It's my
What
accent.
part of Ukraine were you from, love?
I think if we keep going here, we get sponsorship from Vladimir Putin.
They did send me a dialect coach. That's what it is. Because they wanted to sound Ukrainian and not Russian. And I was just doing like a blanket meerkat sort of accent. And then they were like, no, Ukrainian. And then, do you know, I was on the train or the bus, whatever it was, going into the Europa bus
one or the other,
station.
like,
It was
it's
one of the
a train
two.
or a
I think
bus.
it was for this.
Bicycle.
It was a train. And somebody came over to me, like, this is just after Derry Girls, so it was on TV, and somebody came over to me and was all, do you need help getting about? Do you know where to go?
No.
And I was like, I am from Derry. And then they'd be like, yeah, we know. Do you need help getting about? No, they genuinely thought I was Ukrainian.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I mean, if you were from anywhere in Eastern Europe, you'd be like, that's obviously...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
for
right.
I still get people from here.
Yeah.
So did everyone else. Nobody in there has a Derry accent.
Yeah. Well, I still haven't got over Dame Judi Dench in Belfast,
That's
whose
true.
accent in Belfast was fairly astonishing in that it
I
kind of
didn't see
visited
that.
32 counties and genuine. Have you not seen it?
No.
Oh, go and
No.
see. Well, yeah, no, don't. Well, it's all right.
Is this the...
You know the Kenny Branagh film?
Yes, but what do you call... Jimmy Dornan?
Jimmy Dornan,
Yes,
yes.
because you had that good joke about it. I liked your joke.
I had a good
About-
joke. Hang on,
I
I'll
don't
write
wanna-
this down again.
I don't want to
You've
tell it. 'cause
forgotten it,
you're- About being the only dad.
Oh yes, so that
Yeah.
Jimmy Dornan's character was called
Pa.
and I said it was called Pa because everybody in Northern Ireland knows there's only
One
one
dad.
dad.
That's a good joke. Yeah, I like
We
that.
went to see it out of research because we were doing the stage show.
Right.
And I got, like, I thought it got to the end. It got to the end bit, you know, the very American end bit where he throws the baseball.
You haven't seen it?
Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, well, it's a very, very Americanized end to the. Well, I thought was the end, and I was just about to get up, and then there was more, and then I realised, oh no, wait a minute, no, Kieran Hines is the granddad. He has to die.
Oh,
There's another 20
You've
minutes. of
just
this.
ruined that for everybody who hasn't seen it now.
And
Yeah.
Bruce Willis is a ghost.
Yeah, it's the start of the Troubles in 1969 only. It's not great.
Right. Okay.
Not great.
No.
But
But Dame Judi Dench's accent was hilarious.
so they must have blown the money on those actors. They couldn't afford a dialect coach.
With Dame Judi Dench, like,
Yeah.
But you wouldn't
Oh,
go to
she'd
Jane-
cost you a bit of money, wouldn't she?
I know, but you wouldn't go to her and say, like, that accent's a bit crap. You're not going to go to Dame Judi Dench and say
You
that,
just
are you?
whatever she gives you,
Whatever
she
you
gives
do.
you. Yeah.
She's
Marvelous,
also...
darling.
Yeah. She'd be in Derry Girls doing an awful Russian, and they'd be like, "It's fine."
It'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get repeat fees for that?
Yeah.
Do you?
I get repeat fees for Give Me a Headpiece.
Do you?
Do you
Do
not?
you? I don't.
No, we don't get them.
What?
What's going on here?
He's not.
No.
You're the fucking producer. What do you mean he gets repeat fees for? I don't.
Genuinely, I get
Not
repeat
doing
fees
me.
for Give Me a
Not doing
Headpiece.
me.
No, it's not big,
No.
but it would buy you a coffee from Joxer.
Really?
Equity sends you like a wee check every now and then for like, these guys going me to get an email Equity.
Well, that's the end of this podcast. We need to go and speak to our lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
But then yes, you get repeat fees for everything.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
you have not looked into your accounts recently.
No, we're doing something wrong, aren't we?
Yeah. But that's the thing about Derry Girls is, do you know when there was talk of them making a movie, I think last year, and
That's
in my
right.
head I was like, I'm not dead on it, so
Good
there's a
here.
chance yet.
Yeah.
But then with the war, probably not.
How did you meet Lisa McGee? I don't know Lisa.
Did I meet her?
Yeah.
She was on set the whole time.
Was
So
she?
she'd have, yeah, even though she was the writer, she almost like co-directed.
Oh, right.
So she'd have been there the whole time. She's very
Right.
creatively involved. And she'd have just like thrown new lines in there and then. So that's what's nice. Because a lot of that, like I had a short made a few years ago, and a lot of times they don't let the writer on set.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't know why that is, but I wasn't allowed on set, and I think it's just because then they could do whatever they wanted. Do you know what I mean? But if you were on set, which was she was, so it was great that she was just writing new funny lines on the spot, the
Oh,
way
she
you
was
guys
so-
would
Wow.
give my
yeah,
headpiece.
yeah, right.
Yeah, you still.
No, we do. Yeah,
do.
That was
We
why
do, we
we
do.
started producing our own shows, because when you're just the writer, you have no power at all.
True.
I mean, she obviously must have a reputational thing there that.
Yeah,
that
they just trust
you
her
know,
to be
that-
there.
that they let her on the set and they listen to her. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, if you were just a writer, nobody listened to things.
No,
Like,
No. And that's what the beauty is about producing your own stuff too, is you can be like, I'm just gonna do
That was
what I
the
want.
Hollywood joke, wasn't it? About the Irish guy in the
Yeah.
film industry.
Yeah,
You hear about
yeah.
the Irish.
No, it was about the girl who wanted to make it in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
And so she decided that she was going to do anything to further her career, you know. But she made the mistake of sleeping with the writer.
Oh, gone.
Yeah, pointless.
Here, what about Give My Headpiece? How many episodes have you done?
Do you know we've
Oh,
lost
Lord.
We can't remember.
It's
Because
over
did you
100.
not have this thing where you wanted to do more episodes of Give My Headpiece than
Star
Star
Trek.
Trek? Have
we
you?
did. No, we did. No, the original Star Trek. That's the one, the 1960s one.
Yeah.
With Kirk
The
and
OG.
Spock and all. Yeah, that was there was originally 78
Oh,
of those, so we passed that
that's
a long
embarrassing.
time ago.
Only 78.
Yeah.
You have over 100 now.
Well, we're near
It
100.
must be near 100 now.
Must be.
Well,
Yeah.
Two Ceasefires and a Wedding was 1995. What age were you in 1995?
6. Depends on what part of 1995 it
Bet you
was.
still had comedy bones,
I
though.
might have been 5. Oh, I had been not performing my poem, Mr. Giraffe, at the fish.
Yeah.
No, but I'd
You
been
were
five or 6.
So
Yeah,
you're, oh, God almighty.
I know. But my man and dad would have been watching it. I wouldn't have been allowed at 5 or 6,
Would you not?
just given the themes.
And the Derry people Derry people can be a wee bit. That's from Belfast. I'm not interested in that.
No, it was you they didn't like. They liked these. It was specifically you. I remember the protests.
Did
like,
you?
It was specifically you. It was during the time of the Good Friday Agreement that people were like, not if it involves getting to like him. Like we don't.
Well, that's fair
One
enough.
half of Derry were like, that is one step too far. One step too far.
I love doing gigs in Derry. In fact, I'm doing a solo show in the Playhouse, and I haven't even got the date.
They're really slow to buy tickets though in Derry. They're so slow
Oh,
to
it's
buy
all
tickets.
walk up, isn't it?
It's
All
a
the
lot. It's a
time.
lot of last
Yeah,
minute
yeah.
ones. Weren't you telling me that you used to like a free show?
We did the City of Culture in 2013,
Yeah.
and then about a year later, me and Murph and Jake did a show in the Millennium.
Yeah.
And tickets were a wee bit slow, and I said, "What's happening?" David Hull rang the theatre manager, and he said, "A lot of guys are ringing up, going, I want tickets for that there." I said, "Well, that'll be 20 quid, whatever it is." No, I saw them last year for nothing.
I know.
It's free, 'cause it was all free. All the theatre, City of Culture stuff was free.
Yeah.
It was all subsidised.
All right.
He's going, no, you have to pay.
My
Pay?
dad had no right to do that. Like that is so rude.
Pay to see a gig.
Like,
Oh,
isn't it mad? That is the way.
that's
is.
genuinely the way, and they're quite late at booking and stuff as well. you
Yeah.
know, but-
And saying that, I do have a show in Derry as well in the Millennium Forum called Saxon City Hall in September. So I take back what I said there. I love you all
Yeah.
very much.
Well, we're with Give My Headpiece there next year for a couple of days. So,
Yeah.
we stay up in Derry. We absolutely love Derry. We have a go all around the country, and then we stay in Derry a couple of nights, usually in the City Hotel.
The City
and go
Hotel's
and-
nice too.
And have a few minerals and the
few
crack.
minerals.
I love Derry.
Play some snooker.
You
Pleasure.
once explained to me the origin of your name,
Yeah.
Diona. It's not. There is no name Diona. It's a make-up name. Isn't
There
it?
is me, and then there's genuinely a few people in China.
Right.
China.
If you look on Facebook,
China.
if you type in Diona, it's me, and then there's a few Chinese girls.
But
And
how
I
did
don't
you get
know
to
if
be
it's like
called
an
Diona?
anglicized version of whatever their Chinese name is. Do you know the way they like a
Right.
westernized version? That's what people do. But my dad's called D
Yeah,
for
that was
Damien,
it.
and my
Yeah.
mum's called Donna, and they put them together and they got Diona,
Very
like
good.
Madonna.
That's not right.
What? No, I know it's.
D.
Don't be rude, Tim.
D. That's not. It's D. And
So-
Diona.
One day he's not casting me in something because we're shite. The next day he's arguing about
I also
my
have
name.
spent several times got your name wrong on the blame game when
No.
you're on the panel. I keep
All-
calling you Diona, Diona.
Like years into working with Tim, and I remember one time going, "You're gonna have to stop. Like you're gonna have to just say Diona, like Fiona or Leona," but it was always Diona. Joey also does that. Paddy McDonald.
Sorry.
Paddy McDonnell was at my wedding. I went over to my dad and went, Diona looks beautiful today. And my daddy was like, why you at her wedding? You don't know her name? Her name's Diona.
There's a guy on the BBC called Davy McCoy who's as a director, and for several years, every time I saw Davy McCoy, my brain went, Tony, how are you? Tony McCoy, the jockey. Tony, great to see you. Tony, this. And for years he just let it go, and then one time he said, "Will you? I can stop that." It's not
There is a time where it just gets too like where you're like it's ingrained in your brain, but also that like do you tell someone?
Well, exactly.
I know.
I have a taxi driver who keeps calling me Stephen. I don't know where he gets Stephen. I've reached the stage now. I just never say him. By the way, it's
I was going to make a joke about Nolan there, but I'm going to let that go. Let that slide.
My mum is convinced she has 2 doppelgangers, right? One of them in Derry and one in New York. She's convinced she has one in Derry because my mum's called Donna, as we've established from my name.
Yeah.
Because regularly, people walk over to her in Derry and go, all right, Sheila. Different people. My man's like, there's a woman who's a spit at me walking around Derry, or else it's like a Truman Show conspiracy and everyone is taking the piss out of me. There's a massive sort of
Has she not seen Sheila then? She's never seen
She's
Sheila?
never seen, although she did say to me recently, I think Sheila works in the post office. And I don't know where she's got her information from or how informed she's, like where she's got that from, but she's now convinced she has a postal worker called Sheila who is her doppelganger. And I need to find out why there's one in New York. I can't remember why, but she also thinks she's got one in New York. I think because she saw a documentary where she read that they came in threes and she just fancies that she probably has one in New York.
She doesn't want to be called Sheila, does she?
Does she want to be called Sheila?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is everyone not supposed to have?
I think everyone's supposed to have at least one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope mine's a lot thinner.
Yeah, people put on Twitter all the time, anybody vaguely with grey hair and a beard, to go, oh, duh, there's
I
you.
know.
No,
You do get it all the time.
Yeah.
Shane told one faces he has 1 million doppelgangers. People send it to him all the time. He gets a lot of them.
People used to think you looked like Paddy Keeley.
Me?
No, not you.
Hey!
Shane.
You still look like Paddy Well, I can sort of see where they're coming from. People think my husband Sean looks like Prince Harry.
Oh, right, okay.
Just without the
I've
comment.
met you.
You don't think he looks like Prince Harry?
No. He's not ginger.
No, I know he's not. But he just
But that's
has
kind of the
that
feature of Prince Harry. That's his
royal
kind
look
of
about
thing.
him. Just that guilty look. No. Yeah.
That guilty look and an overbearing wife? Is
Yeah.
I'm only slagging, you know that. You and him, you have worked very well, and you do your podcast together and meet the parents and all that. Is it all right working with your husband?
It is.
Do you fall out?
We fall out all the time.
What if you've had
together.
a row before you do the show, though? Is there?
I'm just all it. We used to do our podcast in this room, and we used to drive down here having a domestic, and then outside the room be all, fucking love you, right? Come on in. Yeah, all the time. And especially when we write together, because we write plays together, but we have completely different, like I know more about plays than Sean, so I would do, that's not, I know more about plays, but I'd be like, this has to have a story arc. Where Sean just wants to pack it full of jokes, and that works well together, but somebody needs to be keeping an eye on the storyline. Do you know what I mean? For things?
But you do actually write physically together, because when we're writing the stuff, we all, 3 of us all sit in the same room and write it. Do you do it the same way?
We sit in the same room, but usually we need to find someone to mind our kids in order to do that. So that can be difficult. Or we like delegate bits, but it's funny because we maybe like a storyboard or a breakdown of a scene, and somebody will go off. You would do in a writer's room, and then one of us will go off and write a scene, but the other one will read over it and go, "What the fuck were you thinking?" Like it's just, I had written a scene last week where we had all the actors on stage with the massive inflatable gladiators things, like battering the shit out of each other, and Sean came in and was all, what is this? Because people are going to fall off the stage. And I was like, it'll be funny. And he's like, no, this is health and safety going mad. So he changed it to like big, massive inflatable boxing gloves. You should come to one of the shows.
I want the gladiators, yeah. Well, that is interesting because we do write as a three. I write stuff of my own, and but we always start as a threesome, and there's a weird kind of dynamic. We're very lucky because there's 3. We can be quite prolific because if somebody has an off day, you can have an off day and just, but we also have a rule that if 2 people like the joke, and one person goes, it's not funny, 2 people like it.
It goes in.
But we can also be incredibly brutal.
Yes, you can be brutal. Yeah. You can just,
what's wrong with you today? I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, we've had all our FU conversations, and but also you can, if you're on a roll, you know, and we know the character so, and we know each other so well that we can just get on with it. And he is sits in his arse, doesn't type anything. He's absolutely useless.
I'm the typer.
Yeah.
He's
He
the
types a bit
typer,
as well,
and I
yeah.
type a bit, and I'm the grammar fascist. I translate his typing into English.
That's right.
And after all that, the script still comes to me the way it does.
That's it.
Sometimes
that's the
without a
radio
capital
stuff.
letter.
No, but that's the radio stuff because that's very late. That's when we kind of type that literally the night before.
The reality is, I'm actually just dictating.
Yeah, you're giving them the joke.
They're just scripes,
Do
you
you
know.
think you have 3 different, like with Sean, I'm saying he wants to do like lots of like one-liner things. Whereas I like to create funny characters. Whereas he likes to do like puns and punchlines, if you know what I mean. Do you think you bring 3 different things to that?
I think in fairness, Tim's the joke man. He's great at the
punchline
line.
jokes.
I'm better at dialogue. Both those guys are better at plot and thinking of an idea and
The
going with
storyline.
a storyline and plot.
Yeah.
And I like surreal. I'm probably more surreal than the rest of them.
Yep.
Who's to blame for all the Daleks?
Oh, that's Damon always upset. Sorry.
Cat food, baby! Stay out there! Exterminate!
This is in Perfect Ulster Radio Show. There's a lot of this, and
Yes.
then sometimes
But
you
that's
guys
usually-
join in.
but
It's so funny.
That's usually because we're desperate. We can't think of an idea. So
If I
The
we
Daleks.
can't think of anything, I always go,
Make a Dalek
let's do a
game."
Dalek sketch.
This is the Perforated Ulster, our award-winning radio show that...
By the way, can I say the first year not the first year, but the first year since I joined it that it won an award, a Celtic Media Award, and Tim went and collected
The award.
award.
I did, and I made a speech saying how wonderful I was, and because nobody else was there, and I said it was all my work, and everybody else was crap, and I was the genius behind it.
And what was the reality?
The reality was the actual episode that won, I wasn't in it. I genuinely wasn't in it. I had an eye problem, and I was in the hospital. I was thinking I wasn't actually in the
From
fucking
a sick
episode
bed,
that
he's
won.
talented. For God's
I think the
sake.
Daleks were though.
And I made a huge speech saying how wonderful I was.
And you took home. Did you get a trophy each, or is it just?
We now
Finally
have
we did.
won-
Finally
I
won
mean,
each.
have we won 5 or 4?
Well, we'll definitely give because we gave one to.
How
Paul
embarrassing
Evans.
to lose count of your awards.
Yeah, Celtic
Did we
Media
win
Award.
5 or 4?
No.
What's one BAFTA to another?
Yeah, but you started and then we won an award. Yeah, that was we did it live in front of an audience, pre-broadcast,
I
or
know.
pre-podcast, pre-COVID. You know.
Do you miss doing the radio show in front of a live audience?
That's
I do.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I do.
It is so fun.
It is fun, but part of it is, I mean, there's stuff you can do now that we couldn't have done if we're doing it live because
The
we still,
Daleks.
well, you still find this like but we still find like if you're doing a live show, there's sort of a gig, there's a sort of feel you have to sort of relate it to here. We've always felt when we're doing the
Aye.
Perfect Ulster, whereas you don't have to worry about that aspect when you're doing it sort of, in the studio.
Yeah, you're
with an
reaching
audience.
wider people. You're not worried about just
Yeah.
making those people in that room laugh.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so you're kind of, you can do stuff like, I think a lot of the stuff like, about Rishi Sunak where he just died of death. To be honest,
Nobody
doing it
here
live.
cares.
Pardon?
Nobody here cares about Rishi Sunak.
No, that
is
is
he a
true.
Protestant or a Catholic?
That is yeah. Where's the Protestant or Catholic
Where's the
joke?
Protestant or
Kid?
Catholic? Where do you stand?
Someone say Londonderry.
Yeah, no, we're
yeah.
away. No, that's how bad. But we do love live performances and the stage show in particular. Once it's up and running. But with Perforated Ulster, we've done it in the studio. We hire you.
Yeah.
You arrive at 10:10 late as usual, like
Yeah.
you did this
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah.
You
Give
read
you enough time to.
You do
And
your.
then you say you have to go early.
Then you say you have to. You do
No,
your Michelle.
I do not. I did that 1 year just after I had a baby, and thank you very much for being very, very accommodating. So go on, Damon, go on now about me going home early after having a baby. Go on.
Yeah.
See how you get on now.
Yeah.
Sexist pig. I'm sorry.
Slight change of subject. Now, you once told me that you got into Oxford.
I got offered
You got offered
Yeah,
Oxford
yeah.
for what?
law.
Law.
Yeah.
And you did drama and Queen's
drama
Day.
Queens, yeah.
What
What a brilliant
Right.
idea.
That was a really good move.
So what happened in my school? So whenever you were back then, whenever you were in Upper Sixth, you were being offered like you were
What school were you in? The
Thornhill College.
is that Derry Girls' School?
Yes, so it's a grammar school.
Yeah.
So at that school, so I had all A stars in my GCSEs and all A's and my A levels, and I was
Okay.
like top of the year in most of my subjects, and or top 2 and top 3. But in each year, the way it works in the schools then anyway is that only 2 people from each year were invited to apply for Oxford or Cambridge because they couldn't just have anybody applying. You had to be they had to like see
They
your
had to rate
results.
you. Yeah.
So me and another girl were both the people who were selected that we could apply to Oxford. And it's almost a guaranteed place then, because they've selected that they would happily take you. Probably
Yeah.
cuts
Did they
down
have a
their
wee Derry
application.
quota, did they?
They needed a wee take. And then I just decided not to. My dad talked me out of it. My
Your dad talked you
I know, which is mad, isn't it? Because usually dads would be like, don't be going to do drama, do law, of course. I had this idea in my head that law at Oxford would be like an episode of Legally Blonde. I were there all like, objection, and there my pink pencil scared of a dog. And all. I thought it'd be like a stage, which you guys obviously thought it would be like, because you ended up on the stage. And then I decided, my daddy was like, no, do drama, that's what you want to do. Don't follow the money if you think that law is going to be money. He was like, follow what you love to do, and you've showed zero signs of abiding the law up until now. So why would you continue to?
It wasn't a Derry man going, no, we don't need any.
No, yeah, exactly. But, we don't need anybody highlighting what we've been at.
You've no regrets about not being a lawyer then?
Not at all, no.
I mean, we were lawyers for, we were all working for about 6 years.
Yeah.
But we got the hell out of it, didn't we? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I did law at Queen's. I was offered Trinity College Dublin to do law, and my dad wouldn't let me go because
Expensive.
it was too it's too dear.
Expensive,
When it was 1982.
Yeah.
So that was, and it was
Now that
£1.70.
you say that,
That
that might have been my dad's thinking.
Yeah.
My dad's like, follow your heart where it's free.
I was much funnier in court.
Yeah, oh really? But that's the thing, like the amount of similarities between being a lawyer and being an actor. Like there are lots of people who have done that.
Lots of comedians, yeah.
Lots of comedians, yeah.
John
who
Cleese.
But didn't
John
you know?
Cleese do law. Yeah.
wonder
Yeah.
why. Did
Well,
you all stop doing law at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because we
yeah,
had to. We
yeah.
got to the point where it was getting ridiculous, and we were trying to do 2 jobs at the same time.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
You made a pact.
Yeah.
Who was the better lawyer?
Me, obviously. Obviously. Why do you ask?
Well, he was a barrister.
Well, I was a barrister.
We were just
now,
solicitors.
let me get this
Okay.
clear. Right?
Yes.
I'm sitting in this in an attic.
Did you
recording
wear
the
the wig?
podcast. I could be a millionaire now.
Okay.
So I sometimes think should I have followed the money? I do.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
sometimes think that?
Now, he was a
No.
barrister who got, the free wig, and he's the only one of us who doesn't need a wig.
You don't get your wig free. The wig's really expensive, you know.
Whereas
Oh, I know, horsehair. or
I worked
something.
in anti-discrimination law, and I eliminated religious discrimination.
did, actually?
Took me 2 years. Eliminated religious discrimination in the Fair Employment Commission. Then I moved to the Equal Opportunities Commission. I was an expert in sexual harassment and pregnancy rights and stuff.
Wait, and there's
And I-
him
and you're
giving
gonna-
off about
no.
me not.
Well,
There's him giving off about me trying to go home early.
exactly.
Thank fuck
exactly.
for Tim being there.
Exactly.
Ah,
I'd have been there till the day
I was
end.
there.
My child's starving at home.
Someone who didn't serve me with a writ there and then.
Yeah, no, I was maternity rights and pregnancy law and all that sort of stuff.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Why specifically that?
Equal Opportunities Commission, yeah, well, it's discrimination.
Oh, it's
law.
all in that same
Yeah, that was in
umbrella?
and the European law was very important in those days, and they were at the forefront of fighting
Aye.
for women's rights and stuff. So that's why we got arseholes having Brexit and getting rid of European law. Yes, yes.
So you were part of abolishing religious discrimination within the workplace?
Yeah, it took me 2 years.
That's quick.
Well, I
did
give it
very
all. I
well,
give
like
it my all. I give it my all. There's no religious discrimination now.
Oh, yeah.
No, seriously. Well, the Fair Employment Act of 1990 was very, very important. Just not to bore you, but it was actually
Aye.
a very, very important piece
Oh
of
no,
legislation.
I believe that is
He
important.
made a
No,
whole
it did.
TV show about it.
Yeah, we made a
Yeah.
documentary
Alright.
about it.
Because we both worked at because I joined Tim in the Fair Employment Commission, so we both fought discrimination.
What
It's
did
great.
you do when you were doing that?
But this is
Oh, no. I did everything.
He was working for the council.
You were just admiring Michael's wig.
But we were talking about Shane about this, about how the direction has completely changed now
Yeah.
for comedy. Because in those days we were lawyers, we were doing stuff part time, and we were doing theatre shows. David Hull would book us into a theatre and would do a couple of shows a year, or a couple of gigs around the country and stuff. And then we got a wee break on radio, and we're doing some radio stuff. But it was all very slow, and the progress then was you start on theatre, then you get a wee break on radio, and then the golden
Yeah.
cow, you get a bit of TV.
TV.
But that whole
It's back to front
thing
now.
is just.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, your trajectory now is we were at a thing talking about comedy and stuff, and you just said it's all online.
It's
so
social media.
social
social
media.
media.
Will you
I-
tell those
yeah.
two because they don't even
Oh no!
have it.
I know.
What? I've got
That's where it's
WhatsApp.
at.
I once very unwisely tried stand-up.
Oh, right.
And gave it up very quickly because I wasn't any good at it. And but I did appear in the original Empire
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's right, you did. That's right.
Dig it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's painful.
Parallels back.
It's
What do you mean?
painful.
Oh, in the
Yes.
TV show?
It's painful.
Oh
Dig it
my
out.
God,
Yeah.
yes.
1994.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't for me. It really wasn't. But
What
during
do you remember any, like, what did you do stand up on? What was your topic you were talking about?
stuff of the time, you know, we're talking early 90s here, you know, but at the same time I was still a lawyer, and a guy had come to see me, and really, you know, Casey, you know, really important case and all that, and he's sitting with his girlfriend watching the Empire Last Back, and he says to him, so how'd you get on with the lawyer today? And he says, yeah, he's good, yeah, I think he really knows his
He's
stuff.
up there
you know.
talking about his
He really knows
arsehole.
his stuff, and then he goes, wait a minute, that's my lawyer there. She goes, your lawyer's a comedian.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you win the case?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, every now and again I meet people come up to me. You know, most of a lot of people come up and say they love Give Me a Headpiece, but sometimes people come up to me and go, "Oh, I remember you. You were my lawyer," and I always ask the first question: "Did we win?"
Oh my God.
While I'm looking for the emergency exit, you know.
Do you know what you're like? Do you like when people, when they've grown up, see their primary school teacher out and about, and they're all, Mrs. Murray, Mrs. Murray, P3, 1986, and they're all hardly about 35p. Like, you would remember everyone. What was your department then? Like, what was you? Are you a lawyer? Does everything, or did you?
Yes. No, I
specialise?
just worked in a solicitor's practice.
So you just took it on any old case?
I did everything.
Any old
Anything
case.
you name it, I did it.
Any weird, funny ones, silly ones, stupid
No,
ones?
we did loads. We did loads of them. Yeah.
Any big money ones?
Oh yeah, quite a few. Yeah.
Tell me.
I had a guy once sank his own boat.
You sure about this, Tim? You want to go here?
This is the Titanic.
You wanna go
Names,
to
it's all right. It was a long time
okay,
ago.
okay.
It was a long time ago.
The guy sang his own
No
boat.
names. No names.
And was he looking money for it?
Well, I wasn't acting for him for that.
Right.
I was acting something entirely different. But the previous solicitor says, "Yo, you've got him now." He says, "Well, just tell him. You know, he sank his own boat."
Was that what the case was? He said?
No, it was a totally different
Oh,
case.
right.
But I was warned by the previous cases. Oh, he
Yeah.
sank his own boat.
He's a Looney
Well, he
Tune.
sank his boat for compensation, but he also
Yep.
had people on the boat when he sank it. He
Yeah,
didn't
they
just
got-
sink his boat
Oh,
like
he's a
in
murderer.
a dock. Like,
No, it wasn't.
No.
It was to keep it real. Like if you have people floating around the water, like,
yeah.
oh, come on.
Because if the boat sank and nobody was on it, it would just look
Yes, so it
set
had to
up.
look right. It had to look right.
So he's a smart.
Oh, yes.
He's a smart criminal.
Yeah, risking
Them's
lots
my
of people's
favourite.
lives,
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
The smart criminals.
we
are
were
the best.
taught Irish land law by a guy called David Trimble. Do you remember David
Yeah, I do,
Trimble?
yeah,
You know
of
David
course,
Trimble
yeah.
Also, he taught us Irish land law.
At Queen's.
Yeah.
Ah, I didn't know he taught at Queen's.
Yeah.
Or he taught? Didn't know he taught.
Yeah, he was a law lecturer at Queen's
Oh, very good.
University.
There you are.
And I was taught by Mary McAleese as
Do you know
well.
one of the saddest things ever when poor David Trimble died, and they interviewed some kids about David Trimble,
Yeah.
16-year-olds, and one of them said, "Oh yeah, I remember him from our history class."
Oh.
Oh God, that's our childhood. That's our
I don't think it's a childhood.
That's our adulthood.
Well, I don't think we're not history class yet, are we?
Diona.
Apparently, because my daughter is at Cambridge, and she but she said but there's
I
Could have been a
seriously
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
seriously apparently there are dissertations about Give Me a Headpiece. People are doing
Oh, yes.
seriously
What?
doing theses about them.
Someone's doing a dissertation, seriously, right?
Seriously?
Right now,
Yeah.
on my work.
Oh, brilliant!
Really?
I swear to God, on my plays.
Excellent.
On female, so it's about
Female
modern
empowerment.
female comedy in the NI theatre scene, and
Wow.
she's studying 4 of my plays.
Okay,
Wow.
is this a good time to say I haven't seen any of them?
Yeah, well,
But
yeah.
are there, no,
They're 99% female
I
audiences.
was going to say
Yes.
I've heard that they're
Yeah. I mean,
they're not directed at
they're
60-year-old
not
men.
directed at the history class.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
History class.
Right. So
But
we like
they-
our history. So we can.
Yeah.
We really want to be the rest is history rather than the Give Me a Head
You'd
podcast.
come in and be all, she's
Yeah,
going to
to be
get
honest
sued
with you.
for the shit she's saying in this.
What did Stalin think about it?
Oh, yeah. But no, yes, that's what she's doing, which is interesting, isn't it?
So is that your mark? You've deliberately aimed at that.
And is she bringing you up like and talking to you?
No, yes, I have to do like a sit down interview with her, which is really weird because I was like, so if she's read so I sent her the scripts and she's read the scripts, and then we have to do an interview for like whatever, and then I was like, can I just do it over the phone? And she was like, no, I have to do them in person. They're not allowed to do those interviews
Right.
over the phone,
Oh, right, okay.
which seems really prehistoric, doesn't it?
And is it like a Mickey Mouse University or is it?
No, it's well, yes, University of Ulster. I think she's made it up.
All right, guys.
Oh, well, no. So
not a real
University
thing.
of Ulster is a great university.
So you could get a
It's just a Word document.
You could get a doctorate in Doherty studies.
Apparently.
you go.
Yeah.
Very good.
No, it's her thesis. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her
Wow.
dissertation. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that mad? I know. It'd be so weird though if it was just like some like crazy cat who was pure lying. Like, do you know what I mean? Just like wasn't
Just
at
wants to meet
uni.
you.
Yeah. Or just wants to, or just will write a
Just wanna get into
document.
your house.
Yeah. Just wants to know where I live. But
Well,
yeah.
how do you get the time? You're doing the stand-ups, you're doing
I know.
Blame Game, you're doing the plays,
Plays,
you're
yeah.
doing podcasts.
I'm doing everything
You've
on
got
a very
5 kids to
mediocre
look
level.
after.
Which is why. I know, yeah, I don't know. Do you know what? People ask me it all the time, and you just find the time to do the things you love doing, don't you? Like, my job is all our jobs.
So fuck
It's
the kids
fucking
then.
fuck the
really.
kids. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a joy to do what I do and to do what we do, to get to write comedy, perform comedy. It's a joy, and I love getting to sit down and write. And like, when you're excited about something you've written and you get to go out and perform it, you just find the time and energy to do it because it's exciting and it's fun and it's not, it's not making the world go round. All the people are doing more important things.
Well, yeah. Shane said, and I think he's probably right, because I've done a few gigs with a lot of the younger comedians, even though there's so many of them now.
There's loads.
There's loads and loads of them
great.
now. But there's a nice atmosphere there, and there's kind of...
Some shite ones, is that what you mean?
No, genuinely, I don't mean that. I mean,
Yeah,
I think the standard has improved, generally.
Yeah.
But also, there's a nice there's no real kind of cliques and egos. And
Oh, I thought it was just a mixed atmosphere. Is
No, nice
Oh, I thought you said mixed atmosphere.
No, nice atmosphere.
There is a
Speaking
nice-
English.
Yeah. There's a great atmosphere amongst the comedians here. I find that it's very like supportive. People will leave it and like give you like good feedback on like bets. They might be like, oh, this could work and that could work, and it's generally like a really nice environment. You started gigging much more in the scene now as well,
Yeah.
and you enjoy it too. It's
Yeah, I
a
love
nice,
it.
pleasant place to be and good place to try out material. I was just at the Fringe there very briefly, and lots of the comedians who are based in London there I was talking to were like, it doesn't feel like that in London at all. Like everyone's very separate. You know what I mean? But then I know they're gigging many more times in a night than we are. Like they could be gigging 2-3 times a night. Whereas if you do that a week here, you're lucky. You know. But so there's the scene there is very different. Whereas here, I do feel like it's very
But
welcoming.
you probably, I mean, to get boring about it, but you can make a living as a comedian now if you're starting out now. There's
Yeah.
so many gigs.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to get paid a huge lot, but you can build
definitely
up a
make-
following.
Aye.
There are comedians that I barely know the name of who are doing, waterfronts and Ulster Halls and things like that.
I know it's mad. There's just an appetite for it here now, and everybody aspires to your level. Like you're the guy.
Yeah.
Everyone aspires to be like the Tim. Everyone's like, if we could just have Tim's career, we'd all be fucking sorted.
He's a sarky.
I mean that.
I met Riley the other day. He said he wish he had Tim McGarry's age.
Where he just has to sit and you do all the jokes.
Yeah,
and
we
you
have
do
to
all
do
the
it.
writing.
Yeah.
He just
I
goes
should be
and does-
retired, but I shouldn't have to bother me. I was going down and doing
I know.
Lavery's Comedy Club or whatever.
for the sheer love and joy of it. But you just write really last minute, don't you? For your live shows and all. Like
the time.
for the stage show for Give My Headpiece, you just write that so last minute. Is that to keep it topical or because somebody doesn't turn up?
It's laziness.
Yeah.
Slightly lazy.
yeah.
No, it's deadline. Deadline.
I work at that too, a deadline.
Must do is a great master.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
You know.
We have literally
Have to get it done.
finished a script the day before rehearsal started for a Give Me a Headpiece and given the cast about a week to rehearsal.
Aye. But then because they know their characters
Well-
and they've
Yeah,
been
it's
playing
much
it for
easier for them, it
years,
is, actually.
it's
It
not
is.
a new piece of work. Whereas every show I write is a brand new piece of work with brand new characters, and people are coming in going, "This doesn't make sense." And I'm just trying to figure out for the first week of rehearsals. Yeah.
But
so-
you get a lot of motivation. What's my motivation in this part? All that routine,
Oh,
all
yeah.
that actor nonsense.
Yeah, I remember doing a movie in an Irish language movie before in Donegal, and an actor from Belfast who's a good friend of mine, and you probably know him as well. He's doing him actually, and he was in it, and he had a relatively he had a supporting role, but he kept doing that whole "what's my motivation" and "what's
Why do
my,"
I do that?
and the director was like, just fucking. Say your
lines.
lines,
Say your
say your
lines.
lines, and
What's in
get out of
there?
my face. Like, and go away. Like, and he was doing a great job and all, but at one stage, it was Tony Devlin, and he put a stone in his shoe, and just gave his character a limp, which looked really cool, but no reason at all, and it was so funny. And I remember him just going like, "I've got a limp now," and I was just like, "Okay." And the director was like, "Why have you got a limp?" And he was like, "Can I have a limp?" And he was like, yeah, if you want a limp, you can have a limp now, and if, you know, those sorts of things. But that, I don't know whether that's brilliant or just, you know,
But did you
madness.
not learn all that stuff at drama school? Would you do all that?
I went to
Did you-
Queen's, so I didn't learn anything.
You don't learn anything?
Not
Do you
really.
do Stanislavski and...
Be a bag of sand.
Be a bag of sand and make the sound of your
Be a
mask
tomato.
and all
Well,
that.
we did all that.
Did you do all that?
I think that's so shite.
Yeah, it's a lot of nonsense, isn't it?
Even see when you go into like I love like see when you using the rehearsal for like give my headpiece, you just like everyone just come on, just stand up and do your shit. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you go into some places,
That sounds very
Excuse me,
unprofessional.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
This
but it's a
very professional process.
no, sorry, yes, there's a
Very
big
professional.
dramaturgy morning, and then
That's
everyone
right. We
just
start
sound
we
baths.
start with the morning prayer, then we do the yoga, then we focus and center,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
we
yeah.
break up
Yeah,
into
yeah.
workshops and discuss our roles, and then we
Everyone eats organically the
Yes.
whole time. It's the whole process. But I've been in rehearsal rooms with directors, and they're just like spend the first hour and a half being an animal of your choice and stuff like that, and you're like,
no.
well, this isn't. I am not that sort of actor. Do you know? I'm the actor who'll be
no.
all. I feel like a dick being a cat. Do you know what I mean? Whereas other people be all. I'm actually a mouse, and they'll spend the first hour and a half, and that is a level of vulnerability I do not have yet. You know what I mean? Whereas I know so many actors who'll happily just be a cat for an hour.
no.
Yeah.
But see, I have directed a lot of people than these guys, and you know, there's a couple of big dramas, and the actors just say, "What's the direction of the movie?" And I go, "Well, you're the actors.
Yeah.
You do it."
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
so many times everyone, that's such freedom. You're not telling me what to do. Oh, well, you're the professionals, dude.
But it's mad because as soon as you put a camera in front of people and you're like, right, take a drink of that water, people are all, how do I drink? I forget how to drink. They're like, I forget how to do it. You know, you become so stupid. You know, because you're trying to, and it's so silly even to say it, but when you're an actor and you're trying to work within all these, like this small space, you have to hit marks,
Yeah.
which again sounds really simple. You'll have to walk
Yeah.
from here to there and drink water, you know. But it does become complicated for some reason.
Yeah. And then you get the ones that overload themselves with props.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we had a guy in Give Me a Headpiece. Loved a prop.
It's like, can I have a sword? You can have a sword. Okay. In the orange, you can have a sword. Yeah. Okay. Can I have a bowler hat? Yeah. Can I have a bowler hat? Can I have a banner? Yeah. Can I have a banner. Yeah. Can I have a pair of shoes? Yeah. Can I have a pair of shoes? And of course,
Can I be eating a sandwich? Yes.
and then he was sort of going, and then he suddenly went,
You had to get up
I've
on
got
the
too many
sofa."
bros.
Oh no. Who is it?
No.
Oh, it's
Damon.
no longer with us.
No
The
longer
great
with
George
us.
Shane, a really
Oh,
lovely
yeah,
actor,
yeah,
lovely,
yeah.
lovely guy.
But I
Very
loved
good
his
actor.
props.
When I came into Give My Headpiece as Uncle Andy's daughter, I really wanted to have an Uncle Andy mustache. I wanted that to be my look.
You could come back.
I was growing it for so long. I came in and they shaved it right off.
And did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it?
The shaving off the mustache, the relief. Yeah, I loved doing Give My Headpiece. It was I remember Sean came to the first, like my husband came to the first recording of it, and him just being like, it's so crazy that you get to be part of this show. Like it's obviously like such a iconic like show from here, and it was like just one of them pinch me moments being in that show and being able to stand, especially because I got to do it in front of the live audience too.
Yeah, it's such a difference.
Which is just like magic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I remember being like, this is a hard to beat.
Yeah,
It's
we
really
did a
exciting.
couple of years under COVID in a fucking warehouse in Carrickfergus.
Yeah.
Just freezing, then played it. It was not the same. And then last year we were back in the studio, and it's just completely different. Oh, the atmosphere.
Although you shoot really quickly as well, because I remember going out and being there for about half an hour one time and doing a scene at a toilet flush. I think all I had to do was flush the
Yeah.
toilet, which doesn't really usually take that much time anyway.
Yeah, no,
But
it doesn't really.
that was it, and I was like, this is really quick.
No mucking
Yeah.
about with us. No, we need to get to the pub.
So you have a Christmas special.
We have a Christmas special, one next year as well.
You have one next year's like seasons are sneaky wee shits, and the BBC give you stuff so ahead of
Sneaky
time.
wee shit.
Sneaky wee shits. The rest of us are like this. Please, sir, want some
You
more?
don't need the babe anymore.
You don't need
the
us.
BBC.
You don't need us.
They do. Who doesn't
Don't
need
need
you?
the BBC. Or
You don't need a BBC anymore.
Me?
Yeah.
I need all I can get, guys. I've got 5 kids. 5 kids and a lazy husband.
Who works in all the scripts?
He works in all the. He's the one making all the jokes and doing all the. He's my husband's the grammar Nazi. Christ.
Is he?
He
Good,
can't
fair
sit
play to
beside
him.
me when I type. This is the thing. Our processes are completely different. I brain splurge. Like I have to get the idea out as quick as I can, or I'll forget my train of thought, and then I'll go back and comb over it and
Fix
make
it,
it make
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
But you know all the red line underneath everything that says you've spelt it wrong. There's no full stops. There's no capital letters. All that sort
That's
of
me.
stuff. Sean has having an anxiety attack, necking CBD oil beside me. He can't look at the screen. He's like, I have to. So he has to sit in the other side of the room if I have the laptop. so he can't see the mess I'm creating.
And it works perfectly.
It works absolutely perfectly. Come see us in the Opera House this
Hey.
October.
Yes. Listen, Diona, thank you very much. This is only episode 2. Well, time flew.
I know, yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you very
having me.
much. You're very, very welcome. Tune in again. We're back next week with the Give My Head podcast, comedy and culture in Northern Ireland. Diona, thank you very much. You were nearly
Thanks.
as good as Shane Todd.
Oh, isn't that's what I hear a lot.
Yeah.
Nearly.
Nearly as good.
Nearly. Like the first time I auditioned views, nearly.
Absolutely.
Well done. Yay.
You applaud at the end of the podcast? I don't know where
Ah,
you
we're
did.
doing it now. We're changing the rules, Tim.